just a teaser for the four archetypes that you have studied already. Okay, so let's just get this slide up, the one that my wife has done. And of course, my wife has done an excellent job. What you are seeing is the fruit of many, many years of prophetic reality. I don't actually, I'll just very briefly, over 10 years ago, we were given I saw a vision together with my wife. We were on holiday up in Malaysia, and we saw a blank canvas with our names on it. Imagine a painting, a very valuable masterpiece painting, but with nothing on it except our names. And it was like, Lord, what do you want us to paint here? And we did not know. This was like way back in 2012 or something like that. I can't remember. It was a trip up to the mountains in Malaysia that we got this vision. So I asked the Lord. He didn't say anything to me, but it was a promise that eventually we would have a curriculum and we would have something to contribute to the body of Christ. So that something to contribute to the body of Christ is here now, and it's happening tonight, and it's happening next week, and it's happening as we speak. It's developing, it's growing, and tonight I want to continue on with. I'm very excited to meet all the folks in Iloilo. This recording will be going out to our folks in Hong Kong to give them a teaser, as well as the folks in Baguio to give them a teaser for the upcoming conference that's coming up. It's a digital conference, so that means that I can be in many places at one time. Okay, so normally in a conference, let's say I go to Iloilo, I can't be in Baguio, or if I go to Baguio, I can't be in Hong Kong, or if I go to Hong Kong, I can't be in Malaysia at the same time. But through this platform of Zoom, we're actually able to be like Jesus. We can be everywhere at one time. So thank you everybody for making this possible, especially our organizers. We're going to have a great time next week. And if anyone is listening on the Facebook or any of the other platforms, and you're kind of scratching your head and wondering what we're talking about, a digital conference, we're talking about something that's being organized at the Seminary Gate, Oikos. It's an academic wing of our church here in Singapore, and we're opening the doors to an international community in multiple time zones. So we're so happy to meet old friends, make new friends, and pass on the legacy of what the Lord has given to us. Of course, Sister Leon and I are now already old. We are 135 years old. So we are almost going the way of Adam and Abraham. Okay, so we want to pass on what the Lord has passed to us prophetically, and then as it manifested over the last 5 years or so, which forms the foundation of King's College Seminary, which is an informal way of saying that we would love to partner with all good pastors and their wives, or good pastors and their husbands in different what we call Starlink locations. Okay, meaning you are in a place that is so remote that you need to have a Starlink to connect with us. So I'm calling you Starlink pastors, where you don't have continuous Wi-Fi, 5G Wi-Fi, and you find it difficult. I really feel sorry for the broken connectivity, which is the reason why we're recording. So we're going to record all of next week in case there's fogginess or rain. I know up in the mountains and the boondocks, every time there's a fog or rain or interference or winds, high winds, there's always this this kind of interference. All right, so we're just finished our fourth session with Sister Lian, Pastor Lian, and now we're going to go into a discussion. So a possible format for our discussion, because we're going to have discussions every time we have a session, okay, during the digital conference. And this will allow the different cohorts in Hong Kong, in Davao City, in Iloilo, in Baguio, in NCR, in Singapore, Malaysia, etc., Thailand, different cohorts to mingle together and ask questions or confirm ground. Okay, so why we're doing this is so that we can actually lay the foundation for these international conferences in 1,000 locations. So that's our plan, is to have 1,000 international conferences. This one coming up next week is just a pilot local conference. So we want to have as many local conferences as possible. That means within your own region or within your own province, or whether it's, for example, one in Eastern Visayas, one in Western Visayas, one in Central Visayas, or indeed within Panay Island or within the Black West, Negros. Okay, so you go ahead and self-organize, and then people will come. And then when you have the conference, we supply the we will supply the intellectual property, or we'll supply the package that you can then share with your pastors. Okay, so there's 3 ways of interacting with us. Number 1, you can go physically, take an airplane or a boat, and go to one of our local conferences. So for example, next week, you can physically go to Baguio and attend the digital conference live in person in Benguet. Okay, the other possibility is that you can participate in the digital conference at home by yourself. Okay, that's the second way. And then the third way is that you can self-organize. You can get a group of pastors or leaders or whomever, marketplace people, and then gather together and then watch together, and then have your own discussion together, have your own retreat for 4 days, and lock yourself into some place where there is Wi-Fi, or get a Starlink. Okay, that's why we call this Starlink pastors. Okay, in the provinces. Okay, so let's imagine now we've finished one session, so we have a discussion. Now, this is one way we can have a discussion, by showing a graphic, which we could send it to your handphone, plus some notes. Okay, so in this particular session, because you've already gone through the 4 archetypes, right? Purple, blue, orange, and green. All the light bulbs are on, so you already have an inkling about what is this purple, PRO. It's the first 3 letters of the Greek word prophetia, right? You've already got a general idea of this purple color, and you're already beginning to think, well, do I have some of these people in my congregation or in my circle of, in my businesses, etc., etc. Okay, so then you are going to be exposed to a pattern of 7. So this is only 4. Most churches have this 4 colors, or are represented by the futurist, the specialist, the essentialist, and today you learned about the potentialist. This is just a fancy way of a mnemonic so that you can remember the characteristic. The broadly speaking, we're talking about the fig, the barley, the wheat, and today the olive. Okay, there's an entire book, there's an entire teaching or entire module that we have just on the 7 species. And it goes on. Huh? After olive is the palm, the date palm, and then after the date palm is the pomegranate, and after the pomegranate is the grapevine. So you've got this pattern of 7. You're going to be exposed to this pattern of 7. So futurist, specialist, essentialist, potentialist, and then realist is next week, then exponentialist, and then finally interventionist. So that completes the light bulbs, all 7. But right now, up to here, we only have this 4, and most churches have this 4. Okay, you have this prophetic type, then you have the person who's really good with his hands, right? He's a specialist, and then you've got somebody who's pretty much a natural at teaching, right? It just naturally comes to this person, instruction. And then you have somebody who's really good with a connector, a super connector, okay? And then if you look again at the scriptures, you'll find that there is a pattern of natural endowments. Again, I'm not going to go deeply into the natural endowments, but just take note, there's this characteristic of virtue that is attached to the prophetic genius. Natural. This is a natural prophetic gene, not because of the Holy Spirit or not because of the office of the prophet. Now we're talking about Abba Father's natural default, natural ability of being able to be a futurist. Okay, this virtue or arate is connected with future truth. It's not being good. It's not goodness alone. It's future goodness. It's what could be, what will be, that this person can see. Okay, and then knowledge is to win. It's a knowledge to win. This person is very competitive in the blue category, and then in the orange category you've got self-control, right? Self-control that allows this person to be able to manage so much data and so much information and process it and clarify, to bring clarity. And then finally, perseverance. So all these are listed in 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 5, 6, and 7. So again, if you look at the entire palette or the entire suite of natural and endowments, then you'll see virtue. He says, add to your faith virtue, and to your virtue knowledge, add to your knowledge self-control, and add to your self-control perseverance, add to your perseverance godliness, right, which is not on the screen, then add to your godliness brotherly kindness, and add to your brotherly kindness agape love. So from there, when we're doing the research on the natural endowments in 2 Peter chapter 1, 5, 6, and 7, we found that one of them is Philadelphia, in the Greek, literally Philadelphia. So that's how we decoded the 7 churches. So when we get to the 7 churches, it's another set of a beautiful 7 there. Okay, so you've got Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. Each of these churches are engaged in a battle that is very different from the battle that the other churches are facing. But they're all coordinated under the general theme of the war on saints, as we could actually call the book of Revelation the war on saints. In fact, there was a lady who tried to write a commentary, but she only saw dimly, as in a mirror, a brass mirror. She couldn't see it clearly, but at least she began to see it, and that's good. We can build. We're building on that volume. It's actually a commentary on the book of Revelation. We'll deal with Revelation perhaps in a different conference, but take note that it's critical, chapters 2 and 3, to be able to understand chapters 19, 20, and 21 in the book of Revelation. It's all connected, okay? And we can't understand world history, world politics, contemporary issues, whether you're talking about, Donald Trump and vaccine mandates and all that, unless you understand Revelation 2 and 3. It's so good. And the reason we can even begin to decode this stuff is because of the clarity of what is now we understand as a theology of the body. How was the first man created? He was actually not from a womb. He was actually created deliberately from the dust of the earth. And therefore, we can say that there are 7 features of the human body that actually lay a foundation for us to proceed in our theology, okay? Beginning with the eye, so purple color here in this slide represents the eye gift, or in the fig, it's called the osteole, okay? In the osteole of a fig is the eye of the fig. That's where the wasp goes in, lays the eggs, and the next generation is birthed. When they come out of that fig, that the mother wasp dies, and she melts into the fruit itself. So when you're eating a fig in the wild, you're actually getting extra protein as well. It's we don't have time to go into this, but there's this incredible YouTube video you should watch. It's called Queen of Trees, and it tells you this whole story, the life cycle of the fig and the wasp, the symbiotic relationship. So if you have this prophetia in your midst, in your company, in your office, in your church, then you don't have very much stability, right? Generally, you'll have a lot of trouble because the prophetic type will keep seeing new things. He can't help it. He can't switch this off. All right. So unless you understand the blind spot or the weakness of the prophetia, then you're going to offend a lot of people. Okay. So a good example would be Isaac Newton. They keep Sir Isaac Newton. They keep rocking the boat. They keep overturning the paradigm and showing another way of looking at the world or the family or the church or whatever it is. Okay, so you have the eye, then you have the hand, right? The blue one, which represents the diaconia, and then you have the ear, which represents the didactic gift, and then you have the tongue, which represents, like what we learned today, the green one, which is the potentialist. Got it? So then if you keep going on that pattern, from the tongue, you have the neck, where we'll teach you about the metadidymic, and then the head, where you learn about the proestemic and all of its blind spots as well, like what you can see what's happening in the explosion within the White House, for example, or what's going on now. And then finally, you've got the heart. So eye, hand, ear, tongue, neck, head, heart. That follows that pattern: Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, Laodicea. It follows the same pattern: virtue, knowledge, self-control, perseverance, godliness, brotherly kindness, love. And then futurist, specialist, essentialist, potentialist. Then you've got realist, exponentialist, and interventionist. So you've got this purple, blue, orange, green, pink, steel, and red. So that forms the biblical pattern of 7. And that's not all. There's a lot more to this, as you will learn in the conference. Okay? So now the question is, let's talk about these 4. How would you compare and contrast? How would you tell? Let's talk about the green one that we learned today, right? The potentialist, or the parakleo, right? Made up of 2 words, para, right? Alongside, right? And kaleo, right? In Philippines, in the jeepney, when you want to stop the jeepney, you knock on the roof and then you say para, meaning stop, right? But in Greek, para means alongside, as in parakletos or paraclete, right? So parakaleo is called, kaleo means called alongside. So called alongside to do what? To encourage, to enable, to coach, to be a performance coach, to help you, to help the athlete or the young person to finish something, to enable them to go on and to finish, right? So this one we call the coach. So how would you see the differences between the coach and, let's say, you've got the prophetia? Okay, how would you see the difference? What would you see as a major difference between that, the coach, and the teacher, for example, or the coach and the diaconia, right? So for the coach, his main gift or his main contribution comes from his tongue. Okay, you could say that there are 7 faculties, and this one is department of mouth, department of tongue. Okay, he's really good at talking, but he also has issues, other issues, but we call them blind spots. Okay, then we have for the essentialists, what would you say that department would be? Right, the department of the ear, the hearing department, right? Or in this case, the teaching faculty. So you've got a communications faculty, the green one. You've got a teaching faculty. And then the blue one, what would that be? That would be maybe the faculty of maybe studio arts, or all those people doing those kinds of maybe the planning and development faculty, actually, because they always work to the plan, right? The script, the score. So they are the executionists. They're excellent. They have knowledge how to win, how to obtain the peace of the land, right? Civic society, and all the NGOs are classified here. All the yeah. So that would be maybe some kind of civics or sports, something like that. And then the faculty right at the beginning would be that of the eye, department of the eye. or maybe intelligence, any kind of intelligence at all. In fact, next week, our conference is called Kingdom Pastoral Intelligence, KPI Accelerator, right? So this is about intelligence. It's about gathering intelligence so that you can make decisions better that will impact future generations. Okay, so that's the I gift. Okay, so I'm just going to stop there, and this is sort of a very rough general overview of these 4 archetypes: prophetia, diakonia, didasko, and parakleo. The reason why I'm speaking in Greek, or I'm taking it from the Greek, is because, for 2 reasons. Number one, we have a whole bunch of ministerial leaders who have been in the ministry for a many long time. And so if they don't already know Greek, they need to at least get into the interlinear Bible. And that's why we recommend beginners in the King's College straight away in your 5-year program, straight away get into Duolingo Modern Greek really, really fast. Okay, 3 minutes a day, it will change your life. Seriously, you'll be able to recognize all those letters and so on. Anyway, most modern day people post-COVID, right? COVID, you already know Delta and Omega virus, right? So if you're a Christian, you know what Alpha and Omega is. And then, of course, if you've done mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, so many of these departments in the university use Greek letters, all right? Aviation, military, etc. All right. The second reason is because there is meaning in the Greek that you can't catch it in the English. Okay, so let me do the English version of purple is discover. That's the best word I could use for prophetia, not prophet, because prophet would be confusing, talking about the office of the prophet. So discover, the discoverer, that would make it more, because it doesn't just happen on a Sunday. It happens Monday. In fact, all of these gifts are non-Levitical. Okay, if you don't know what non-Levitical means, then please take my CE course or comprehensive exam course, because you'll get that understanding of the difference between Levitical, what's for Sunday, and non-Levitical, the Jesus thing that, Miracle Monday, Thankful Tuesday, Wisdom Wednesday, Talk About Thursday, Fill Me Up Friday, Set Apart Saturday, Set Free Sunday, every day Jesus. That's non-Levitical. It's outside the 4 walls of the church. All right, so you got the purple one is discover. The blue one is serve. Not such a great word, because serve is really hackneyed. But if you look at the word diakonia and study it, then you can begin to understand this second order magnitude of the archetypes. And then the third would be teach, which again is a little bit limited, because it's not only teach, but it's also how you learn. The best teachers are the best learners. So if you're learning really well, you're able to break down this information, then you can dish it out to the others. And thanks, whoever it was that asked that question last week about correction and rebuke. That is not the role of a teacher. If ever you invite a teacher into your pulpit, their role is not to scold the people. Okay? The only people who have the right to scold or to correct or to rebuke is your local leader, your pastor, the person who founded the church, or the mother or the father of that. So rule number 1, right? The moment you see people scolding other people in church and they're not the pastor of the church, you've got a big problem. Okay, I'll just pause there for you to listen. All right, there's rule number 1 in how to handle youth pastors, especially youth pastors. A youth pastor should not be scolding the young people. His role is to teach or to exhort, or which is the next one, right? Exhortation and encourage, or whatever, serve, and so on and so forth. Only the father and the mother have that right, and even then to use it very sparingly. Okay? Because if you use it wrongly, then you will develop something else, a kind of a stubbornness in the congregation members, and they'll just develop thick skin and they won't listen to you. So you have to choose wisely your words. Even if you're angry, go into your closet, shut the door, and get right with God. Okay? Every bit of anger, every bit. Okay, and now I've been in the ministry for 33 years, and if you've been that long, you will know every bit of anger, every time you let your mouth slip, every time, whether at home, to your children, to your wife, to your co-workers, especially church members, especially other Christians. Even if you're mad at the Carabao, forgive the Carabao quickly, because there are repercussions for carnal Christians. And there are rules for pastors that do not apply to everybody. I know you already know that. We will be judged differently. So you got to get right. So I suggest that if you're coming to the conference, that's the first thing you need to be doing, right? Get to your prayer closet, do your fasting, do your prayer. Get rid of that nature, that carnal nature. And it's easier said than done. Okay, because we never know. If you look at the trend of of what's been happening around the world, it's super important to allow the processes of spiritual formation to sweep you into the sanctified life. Meaning, you reject carnality and casualness in your faith. This is a kingdom thing. So, same thing. Nothing will happen if you receive this program with carnality. It'll just be a party trick for you. But if you receive the words, this program that my wife and I are bequeathing to you, we are gifting this to you, in the hope that you will be serious with your spiritual life. Get right with God if you need to. Cleanse yourself before you receive this, because the kingdom expressions are those of righteousness. These are righteous freedoms that you receive, all 7 of them. Because when it says, seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness, you'll see the implication of that next week. Okay, if you join us. So God bless one and all. And then we'll, if we can shut down the recording, and then somehow, if you can get it to me, if